Christmas, asshole.
Fuck off.
We're rather unexpectedly going back to our Manor House job today. Unexpected because we didn't think they'd be starting anything before Christmas. And they managed to appoint a plumber who has begun plumbing, and one of the en-suites has been ripped out, and we need to go and decommission some electrics and sling in some cables for some future electrics. Did that car just go the wrong way around the island? Now this is our busiest time of year, the run up to Christmas. Our time of year starts in September when the schools go back, because all the kids have been kicked out from their summer holidays back to school, and all the mums and dads think, right, let's get that new kitchen done, let's get that extension done, let's get that bathroom done, and let's get it all done by Christmas. And it all just sort of speeds up and chugs along nicely until you get to December, and then everyone starts shitting their pants because the builder's behind schedule, or the plumber never turned up, or the plasterer has not done the plastering. Basically every other trade has screwed up except for us, eh Nige?
Yeah,
because we turn up when we say we will. So at this time of year it really is sort of panic stations, and we're just sort of firefighting, going between jobs, trying to placate those who are screaming the loudest to try and help keep fellow trades on track, because usually their lack of planning is impacting us. And if we spend this afternoon on our Manor House job, we can hopefully get that in a position where the plumber can carry on and do his thing, and then we'll be back there for the beginning of January. Because Nigel and I tend to have 2 weeks off at Christmas, or intend to have 2 weeks off, where we should be individually quite drunk,
yep,
and nowhere near each other, eh Nige?
Exactly.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm sick to death of fucking seeing you.
Sick of the sight, yeah.
Absolutely.
You silly fucking assholes.
In fact, it was 3 weeks ago, I believe, wasn't it, that we were last here doing our 2-day inspection, testing and scratching around in the plague-filled attic, and it seems like a plumber has turned up and started plumbing, and ripped out the bathroom. So let's have a look at what was the ensuite. Yes, it's quite interesting this, because first of all, under the floor here where the shower was, we have stairs. Let's get the old torch on there. We've got stairs going down, and which is quite interesting, because if we go out into the hallway, into the stairwell, it seems that this staircase once ran through into there. So you can see the post, which is now half obscured in the wall. So that was a feature we didn't notice before, but I mean, why would you, I suppose? But obviously let's turn the lights on, shall we, being electricians and all that.
Yes, we know how to operate them.
Obviously this stairwell used to extend both sides, so I guess that was a back passage originally.
Yes, but they obviously didn't like anyone going up their back passage.
Well, you wouldn't, would you, Nigel? Or would you, Nigel? Perhaps you would.
Put blockage on it.
So they blocked up their back passage. So we have the end of the stairs still with their carpet, or the underlay or something on there coming up here. So that's an interesting featurette. Speaking of featurettes,
this used to go through to that part of the house, which is now the neighbours.
Yes, because the bedroom extends back further than the bathroom, and when they knocked through, they found that they were actually in the neighbouring bedroom. So that's some kind of light duty partition wall that's gone up between the two houses. So that was interesting for all involved. I'm sure we weren't here when that happened. Electrically, obviously, it's all just been ripped out, not isolated. It would have been more ideal if they'd called us in so we could decommission this lot as it was being stripped out. But we do, I guess, still have working lights here? Yeah, we do. The circuits are switched off at the Hager board. That was the towel rail feed fairly simple. We've got what we suspected were, and what appears to be, a ring circuit serving the sockets on the other side of that wall. It was just serving 2 sockets, that entire ring circuit, so that can go.
And they were on their own circuit, weren't they?
The shower, well, obviously someone's had that off. Fans hanging down. This is obviously a false ceiling again. You can see that there's the original ceiling above here, so all this is a false ceiling. I think the plan is to put board out a new ceiling, isn't it? Oh yeah, there you go, look at that. That's the incoming feed from DB1 downstairs.
Yeah. Which is just below us there.
Yes, DB1 in the dirty hole, which isn't so dirty anymore because the plumber's cleared it out and stuck a water tank in there, which we'll have a look at shortly.
We'll have to go underneath and have a look.
Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? In fact, I don't know, actually, is that the feed from DB1, or is that the feed to DB3 coming off DB2?
This board is fed from
DB2.
DB2, isn't it? So that will be going to DB2.
Yeah, that feed is probably going across there and then into, there's DB2, into here where it comes down and is metered. We want to get rid of all this.
We do.
Plumber's obviously been hard at work sticking new stuff in. All this is still to go.
Get rid of that DB anyway.
The shower obviously isn't doing anything anymore, and there's no electric shower going in its place.
Get rid of the sockets, kitchen socket.
Kitchen cooker downstairs. Well, it doesn't need to be coming off here. These sockets are just the socket circuit is just the 2 sockets here, so they'll be going. The towel rail's gone. The lighting is just the ensuite.
Yeah.
What we've got to do is get a new lighting feed to here, which ideally would come off the DB2 position, because that's where we eventually want to install a large board. But because this isn't being ripped out yet, this bit out here, we might have to take it off DB1, which is just down there, because I'd like to get rid of DB1 as well, or get rid of some of it, I don't know. This is the trouble, it's all started happening without us having started any planning, and we don't have any plans. We don't even know what they're doing with the space, do we? Other than the bathrooms going in, but what's the spec?
I just don't know, mate. I just don't know.
Well, maybe we'll find out in a minute. It's just rude, isn't it, Nigel? We turn up on time, but the client doesn't.
Dave's going, come on, Peter, it's going to be there, we've got to go.
I'm really sorry. I thought it was very festive.
Yes, it's quite nice, isn't it? Where's your hat? So, we didn't.
You're wearing a red hat. I didn't know.
So you didn't spot my red end. We hadn't spotted it. Well, we didn't realise you actually started working earnest at this point.
Well, the floor is staying.
Okay, is that
Knew that he might take those pieces out, put the shower in there, and move those pieces to there.
so? That's going to be a shower going.
That's going to be a shower.
What kind of head on the shower? Big rain head or?
It's coming out. It's going to be all recessed behind the tiles.
Okay.
There's going to be a head just coming out.
Okay.
But then there is also going to be some knobs. Some knobs and a shower thing that stands on the knobs. So that's what's going to happen there. There's going to be a tray, and they're going to be in brushed brass. And then there's going to be a sink here.
Couldn't give a fuck, love. I'm not bothered about the finishes. What I want to know is how big is the shower head? Because
it's coming from the wall, not from above.
Yeah, but how far out into the room does it go? Because we need to make sure we don't stick a downlight right behind it or something.
It'd be a good 350, I would imagine. It'll be on that page you saw.
Right, okay.
How far it throws forward. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. Does that make sense?
350, is that what? Is that a diameter?
Probably be the middle.
The head wasn't that big.
All right.
It wasn't like a rain head one.
No, but it's on an arm.
But it comes out.
Right.
So the arm will come out.
So it comes out like that.
Yeah.
So it's coming from that wall.
Yeah.
So
right, fine.
So the light there, maybe a bit. It's not.
Might be quite well placed.
It's not badly placed, but we're having a new ceiling.
Yeah.
So the light there, and then I was thinking of 2 lights here. And a sink there and a loo there. So sort of, rather than lots of these double tracks they're running.
Yeah, because this is sort of a thoroughfare, really, isn't it? You only
Yeah.
need a couple. I don't know if we can get them in the middle. It depends on whether the woodwork extends in the centre or not. It looks like it's fairly central, that beam, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why they've got this
That's what
offset
would mess up,
arrangement.
putting them in the centre down the...
So you may have to have a sort of staggered arrangement of some sort
Okay,
in the
well, I'm
middle.
happy with that. I don't mind that.
Maybe one over the sink,
Yeah.
one in the middle,
Yeah.
and perhaps one over here towards this sort of area, and then you've got your one over the shower there. The fan you'd have to keep, not necessarily.
Yeah, am I having a fan?
You've got to have a fan.
Oh, right, okay.
already red.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's already
fine,
red.
that's
You
fine.
can put in a humidistat fan, so it only comes on when the air's damp and it's not otherwise venting good warm air outside.
Oh, fine, can you do that?
Yeah, a nice quiet one as well, the
Yeah.
next spell air or something.
Yeah.
It won't vent the nasty nifts, of course. It would just be there for.
I don't do anything like that.
Well, of course, you're a lady.
It's just rose petals, mostly.
Fair enough. So we'll stick a humidistat fan over there.
Oh, okay. And then there's going to be a loo here, so there seem to be a lot of lights in here at the moment, really,
There are,
don't there?
yeah.
But I did think there might need to be. How many are here now?
Are you overboarding the ceiling? Did you say?
Yes. Yeah.
Overboard that one. You have to pull the first sheet of that one down,
Yeah.
but then it'll just overboard all the way through. Because that second sheet.
Well, it's all false ceiling anyway, so we'll get a
Yeah.
camera up there and see what it's like. Because it might be that we don't have to do too much today. If we can just sort of, if it's
Push
all
it
open
up
up there, we can just
yeah.
rod it all through
Brilliant.
after the fact. But we'll
And do
see.
you know when Bruce is doing it?
Tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh,
Crikey, you
brilliant.
don't waste any time, do you?
No, we need to
He's
tell
going
next
to-
door.
Losing that corner, is it?
Yeah, Lou will be there, and this mirror is staying, so it's quite nice
Oh, is it?
having. But yeah, so it's quite nice having big lights over the mirrors, to be honest.
We'll have to decommission all this nonsense, of course.
Yeah.
You'll lose your sockets on the other side of the wall, your two sockets there.
Okay, so that's
we
no.
can put new ones in later on from that side.
Okay.
Where do you want the lights to be switched on from?
I suppose.
Pull cord clonker or a light switch?
Oh, pull.
You want to pull?
I think a pull. What do you think? I don't know. I don't. This here is going to. This is a very good point. This will be where there's going to be a mirror. So maybe a pull, because I don't know whether I'm actually going to continue mirror or spare.
Okay. I mean, we wouldn't put a light switch in here anyway. We'd put it on the outside wall.
Right. Okay.
So we'd go through the wall. You've got shutters on the outside of here, though, haven't you? So it would have to be sort of fairly far over one side or the
do you
other.
think a pull would be better in here?
It'd be simpler because we wouldn't have to chase the wall down to get the cable into place.
Do a pull.
Okay.
Do a pull.
Yeah.
Back.
Which way's the door opening?
Exactly, it can stay.
Don't know there's going to be a door yet.
Oh, so it might just be open into here.
Yeah.
Right, so the pool could go either side.
Yeah. Yeah, which would be
No,
fine.
once.
There's no chance of radiator under the window, is there? Could you get
Yeah,
really
I can get one
thin?
small. Yeah.
Because that would chuck out quite a bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because it would be long then, wouldn't it?
Get a 300 in there.
Can you?
Electrics.
Yeah, let's just put it in there. Right.
Just a really slim radiator.
plumbing.
Do you
Yeah.
think it would chuck out a lot of heat?
Well, I'll just take.
The old hole was full of rubbish last time we were here, and now it's got a load of plumber stuff in it. It's been cleaned out, and there's a
This. Oh.
got some gappage up there. Marge and I are just wondering how we're going to get. We were thinking about decommissioning DB1 eventually, but you know what? I think we're always going to need something in here. Obviously, we won't leave things the way they are there. For a start, you've got two Hager breakers and Denman's board. What's that all about? There's also the feed cable going off to DB2 and DB3 is a 16mm, and we're just wondering whether it's worth us running a new feed up there, because the thing that's concerning me is how we get that cable from here to the DB2 position where most of the circuits are. At the moment it's fine because it's on a 63 amp breaker and it's not RCD protected, but obviously if we want to get that board fed in the future, we can't really have the cable not RCD protected, because the regs now say anything buried in the walls at less than 50mm, anything passing through a bathroom, and that's exactly what this cable is doing. It's buried in the wall.
Cable.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. At the moment, it's not. It's a twin and earth, isn't it? Effectively, or a 3-core cable, unprotected, which is passing through walls at less than 50mm, and which is passing through the ensuite upstairs. Do we put in something like a 25mm armoured, so that we can. I don't really want to put an RCD down here on that cable because it gives you a sort of single point of failure that's going to take out all the circuits upstairs if it ever trips off. So it just needs a bit of thinking about, and that's the trouble. We've come back. We were here 3 weeks ago doing the test and inspect. We weren't really expecting to be here this side of Christmas, so we've come back today because, well, all this is happening. And we hadn't really started putting any planning into this yet, so now we're sort of at a point where, okay, the floor's up above us, and the floor's not going to be up above us for very much longer. It's because the bathroom up there's being done. So we've got to think on our feet a little bit and figure out, okay, well, what are we going to do to future-proof ourselves, to set ourselves up ready so that when we're ready for working on DB2, we're not screwed over. Obviously this has been opened above us. Do we have access to this side, do you think? I'm sure we could make access, couldn't we?
There's a joist above that wall which we can probably see from
the other side.
The other side.
Okay. Well, that's something we need to figure out today, is what are we doing about our eventual feed to DB2. Well, like I say, whether this board stays or not, or whether it certainly won't stay in its current configuration, but I think there's always going to be something in here because we've got an immersion heater here now, which is going to need to be wired in. We've got a new kitchen which will be going next door eventually, so rather than getting feeds from the DB2 positions of that, it's probably better to come from here. Yeah. We've got, on the other side of the wall from the board there, we've got another room that's got a kitchen in it, the cooker of which will be decommissioning today. But if they ever want anything putting back in there, it makes sense to come from here than the DB2 position. Okay. So although we had in mind a centralised position for our distribution board, I think for a lot of the circuits there's going to have to be a second DB. It's just the nature of the place and the fact that we can't just rip holes in it to get cables from A to B because it is listed. Looks like it's going to be done in a piecemeal fashion, and we can't just sort of tear down walls and rip up floors willy or indeed nilly.
Not my willy.
You like willy, don't you, Nige?
I don't mind a bit of nilly.
There's a secondary attic here on the ground floor, which we missed on our test and inspect, didn't we?
And there's some lovely lighting wiring right next to it.
Oh.
So watch where you're putting your hand.
So we were sticking our heads into all sorts of nooks and crannies. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus. How did we miss this loft when we were doing the T&I? We were here for 2 days and we just completely missed that this was here. This is because this is on the ground floor. There's obviously a sloping roof here. And then what you've got there, that's the main loft going up there. And that fat cable is the feed between DB1 and DB2, which then bounced off to DB3. So we were... Crikey, this is huge, isn't it? Look at this space. I think the plan is to open all this up. So they've got a vaulted ceiling, window lights in it, all that sort of shit. There's duff looking cabling everywhere. Nasty, nasty.
So cable entry.
Oh yeah, there's a cable entry point over there. I wonder where that goes to. I can't think where that is. They've obviously got some TV coax passing through with some 230 volt cabling. Another Moody junction box over there. So as it turns out, we don't need to worry about the feed between DB1 and DB2 today. No. Because it doesn't pass through that ensuite. And this is an open and accessible route that will remain open and accessible for the time being. Eventually all this will get knocked down. This wall here, all of this ceiling, so we can worry about getting a new and improved feed from the DB1 position up to our new board when we put it in at a later date. So today it's just about decommissioning that ensuite and pulling in a new lighting feed for it. That was doing the shower, downstairs cooker, kitchen socket, well, these two sockets, tail rail lighting. That's the only thing that's still going to be going effectively are the lights for this room, and we want to pull a new feed in for them. Yeah. And the cooker downstairs, which it was always mad that came off this board anyway when it could have come off DB1, that's in the room next door. So this can go today. May as well get decommissioned and disconnected and off the wall. It's a bit of an eyesore anyway in what is otherwise a bedroom area. You don't really want that sort of utilitarian component on the wall. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the feeds to DB2 and DB3 so that I can decommission DB3, which means I've got to safely isolate this 63 amp Hager breaker. Seeing as there's a plumber working in here, or will be in a few minutes, we don't want him flicking switches, do we? Bloody plumbers. This thing just attaches with a grub screw, just bites into the switch a little bit. And as with many lock-off devices, it's not infallible, as I've said before. If someone really wants to wrench this off in order to enable the circuit, then it ain't going to stop them. But you can't protect yourself against idiocy, unfortunately. He says it'll work. I can't get this fucking thing on. There we go. That's more like it. The little plastic thing was getting in my way. Got my card here, which says, "Do not attempt to remove." And there we go. Keys in my pocket. I'm not going to leave them near the lock-off device because that would defeat the objective. Right, let's go and get rid of DB3. This is the other side of that roof slope going up from the attic downstairs that we were looking at, so you can see that gets us into the attic up here, right close to the DB2 position. So when all this gets ripped out and refurbished below us, we'll be able to get into that space and get a new feed up. He's chopping cables all over the place, so fuck knows if he's done it right. He's probably cut off something he shouldn't have done. Dick weasel. Not that one, you fucking idiot.
Fuck off.
How come the crappily terminated shit pop tin lights?
Yeah.
These ones are LED. These look quite new.
Okay, I'm up there in now, so
You're up whose end?
my end.
You're getting at my end at the moment. I need the fucking ladder.
Well, you snooze. You know what?
Some of us were safely isolating.
You snooze, you can bugger off.
Try and keep twats like you alive.
Yes.
I don't know why I bother.
Jesus, that's got some springs on it. Don't want my fingers in that.
Is it an integrated fitting?
Yeah.
What make?
Well, that's LAP.
Oh, fucking hell. Not one of our favourites.
Yeah, now I've got a grip there.
Can't say I'm surprised. Terminated piss poorly again. But again, the fitting itself isn't made for two twin inverters to go in. Let me just pop that open. Oh, busted it. Yeah, look at that. A couple of push fit terminals.
Right, it's made for two core.
Yeah, it's made for in and out, but most of the time it's twin and earth that you're putting in, and this is what you end up with, some shit install. Nah, maybe not. He has one under that curious white patch as well.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, it's the downlight that's swamped in. I'd hide that as well if that I'd installed it. Fucking bastard. Oh, that's throbbing. That feels like a cartoon throb.
I'm gutted that I just turned the camera off just as Nige got mouse trapped by that LAP monstrosity.
They got some springs on them, I fucking tell you. That's took skin off.
Yeah. Because the real boy has isolated this. So, talking to the tubers. Because the real boy has isolated this. So I'm going to check for safe isolation, of course. I'm pretty sure that my 63 amp MCB is the thing, seeing as we did our T&I before. But yes, my TIS 859 is working, and yes, I've got nothing. Line to neutral, line to earth, neutral earth, and my TIS 859 is indeed good, so I am clear to have that off. You've also got to check before you have it off. Was that you trying to make me jump? Unfortunately, I was already away from the pool.
Couldn't see you.
He's only pissed off because I filmed him jumping the other day when I made a bang.
Jesus Christ.
So one of these is a feed in from that 63 amp breaker downstairs, and the other one is a feed out to DB3. Obviously I've got to... Shit. Obviously I've got to figure out which one's which and make sure I disconnect the right one. Right, I've disconnected our 2 incoming cables, line and neutral, and now we need to figure out which is which. I'm going to give Nige my TIS 845, which works as a continuity bleeper. If you could put that line to earth, Nige, on the DB3. And then one of these, of course, goes back to the DB2. So if I join line to earth there. Anything? Okay, line to earth there. Yeah, I can hear it. So that's obviously our cable to DB3, and that's our feed. So I'm going to get rid of that. We want to retain that. No, yeah, that's it, mate. I've got it. So we'll put that back together, and then we can get the power back on and take DB3 off at the wall. I say, what's that? Rather a long appendage of yours there, Nigel. Sticking in my ear. Okay, now that that's disconnected, this can go. Isolator and meter, which I think I'll keep hold of my own little collection. I knew this would happen. I knew that, you know, that test rig I got back at base. I knew that if I bought a meter for it, a job would come along where one came my way and I didn't need to spend the £12.50. Balls. Oh well, never mind. So that can all go. We've also got to get a feed to this boiler. We're going to do a temporary feed. We've already got a feed which goes and feeds the old central heating. It's in a bit of a mess. For the moment, we're just going to put an RCD spur off this. It's all a bit of a mess here, isn't it? But this is just for the next few weeks, just to get this thing going until such time as we're ready to rock and roll in here. So we'll stick an RCD spur in and just sling it over to supply this for now, because they want that on tomorrow. That's a dirty hole you've left on the wall there, Nige, a dirty brown hole. That's where DB3 was, and she's gone. Which means no cooker downstairs. That's presumably that's what that's for, that cable there.
That's what this is,
yeah. So the only problem really is the fact that we now have no lighting feed for this room. So we'll have a bit of a tidy up, and then the next thing we got to do is figure out where our downlights are going to go and how we're going to get power to them. Downlights the client said she wanted. Downlights she shall have. We've just taken a chunk out the ceiling so we can take a proper peek up there. This is going to get overboarded, skimmed. So what we're going to do today is work out a downlight arrangement and get the torch out. And what we have here obviously is a false ceiling. You can see where the original ceiling used to be, and it's a bit cobweb friendly up here. But it's nice and open. So all we have to do is miss these joists out when we're planning our downlight arrangement. Turns out there isn't a piece of wood going down the room. There's a piece there. It's just a little noggin in that one section. Everything else is open going down that way. So I'm just using my joist magnet. As seen in a video last December, to pick up the screw heads. And then I can measure where the joists are in relation to the room. Oh yeah, you silly fat fool.
I'm staying in, I'm never getting out of there.
Where are you sending that cable?
Down to that far end.
You're trying to get to the fan point?
Hey?
You're trying to get to where the fan is? Or are you sending it, is it for the downlights?
There's enough cable up here for the downlight.
Alright. Because we haven't got a beam going down the middle of the room, we're thinking of just a straight line of downlights. where DB3 was. This was the old feed to it. 10mm feed, still good. Still tested okay. Old colours, sure. But as a temporary measure, we're going to use that and put a junction point in to feed our fan and lights here. So there'll be a fused fan isolator there and a junction point just to feed the lights in this room. So that's the only electrical item needed in this room. Everything else has been decommissioned, and that goes back to our DB2 position. So we can eventually connect it to our new board when we put one in.
Right, there should be enough slack up here for 5 downlights, yeah?
And then we got our switch position.
Look at the cobwebs up there, insane.
Mad, isn't it? Gotcha! Now what to do? It's the annual Fan Chucker Olympics. Who can lob the cable across the room and through the hole? Right. You fat bastard. First one to do it is King Cock. Oh. Well, almost. I mean, I had to help you out there.
The winner.
You didn't get the basket.
You weren't up there.
If I'd have thrown it across, it would have gone just straight through the middle there.
Yeah, sure.
Straight through.
Oh, I can adjust myself. I need to adjust.
In front of a window.
What, like there's anyone out there?
Well, young man, let's cut that off then. And label that as fan using my white marker pen. Did you know I had a white marker pen?
I did. You can label it as whoosh. This cable is whoosh.
You know it.
Oh.
Jingle bells, Nigel smells. It's the only day of the year you can start caning the fucking booze at 10 AM without anyone frowning at you.
Get out of bed. Get the booze out.
Looks like there used to be a light switch here.
Oh, there's more stairs under that end.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. They go into there. That's part of the old house.
Ah, how'd you know that?
Because if you go downstairs and look, you've got an arch there where the stairs are. You've got an arch there where the other stairs are.
Nigel with the facts.
So, this used to be a walkway past a door there that went into that bedroom and into that section of the house over there. That's now the neighbours.
Interesting. So this used to be, I guess, a corridor across here, didn't it?
Corridor,
And that was your doorway into there. So, DB3 is gone.
DB3 is no more.
We didn't expect that to be gone before Christmas.
No.
We've got a RCD spur in for the new boiler, so the plumber can energise that whenever he wants.
Oh, yeah, energised it accidentally for half a second.
We won't tell him
Fired
that.
straight up.
Okay. We've got a cable between the 2 points, which we're able to energise for lighting, so we know we can get power in here.
Yeah.
We've got a switch point for lighting, we've got a fan isolator point for the fused fan isolator out there. We know where we are in terms of this ceiling, so they can overboard that, plaster it, and we'll come back and then cut some holes in it. We're going to put a humidistat fan here so that it only vents.
Personally, I'd have a freestanding cracker right there, looking out the window.
Yeah, you could do, couldn't you? You could sort of
You could sit here,
shit with a view.
having a shit, reading your newspaper.
Gin and tonic in one hand,
Yeah.
bog roll in the other.
Watching the pigs over there. They got pigs over there. I can't see them right now.
No.
They have pigs and sheep, don't they? So, are we done today?
I think we are, old boy. Time to pack up and piss off. And so ends another day at the Manor House. Is that the wife? Looks like the wife. This is it, Martian. We are literally driving home for Christmas, as Chris Rea would say.
Yep. Backwards.
Parking home for Christmas. Parking home at Christmas. I can't wait to smell their feces. And that is the end of 2019.
Another year done.
Oh, where's my microphone gone? Right, you have a present.
Do I?
You do.
What? Oh, it's going to be horrible anyway. What's it going to be?
Yeah, you
I
might
haven't
like
given you
it.
anything. Oh my God!
There you go.
Thank you very
I
much.
just want you to know
Fuck you too.
that this is from the wife. I had nothing to do with it, and I don't agree with it. Did you get me anything?
No.
If you give me that back, then effectively I've given you a present. You
There
give
you
me
go.
one. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Now get out my fucking van. Merry fucking Christmas. Your whoosh.
I bet it's full of tea, isn't it?
Where the fuck did Christmas go? Oh, don't tell me
know,
it's fucking
fucking hell.
January already.
That was
Oh, Jesus.
shorter than expected.
Another 50 fucking weeks of you.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's go to Greg's.
You're lucky. I got 52 weeks of me.
What are you doing, you dozy old sandwich fucker?
I'm getting into an awkward hole.
Oh, right, yes, okay. See, we were rather negligent, weren't we, before Christmas, Nigel? I say we, I mean you, of course, because this was our feed. Oh, look at that burn Nigel's got. Show us your burn, Nigel. That's a Christmas burn.
Yes.
So if you were vegan, that wouldn't have happened. Getting your turkey out of the oven, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it something to do with your turkey, anyway?
Pork. My Christmas pig.
Christmas pork. Yeah, so that was our old feed cable going to the Hager board,
It was, yes.
which came off the meter that was in here.
Later a meter here.
Yes, and you can see the plumber's been in and has put a new boiler system there. The water tank has gone, giving us a bit of space here so we can decommission some of this bobbins over here.
Yep.
That was our old feed that came from DB2 to the Hager board. That's now been disconnected at DB2, which is why Nige isn't dead, because he's hanging off the end of it. And that did go through the meter and isolator to there, where it went off to our Hager board. The only trouble is we need to get a feed for lighting to this ensuite, and there's nothing else around here that will do it. So we thought, oh, hang on a sec, we could use the feed that was going to the Hager board. I mean, it's a bit of a beast. It's a 16mm cable, but you know, it'll do. Except that this twat cut it off over in the cupboard. So now he's having to try
following order.
try and dig it out the wall so that we can.
The hole's too big and my tool's too small.
Well, isn't that always the case, Nigel? It's
Yeah.
like waggling it around in the entrance of a cave. So we're trying to dig out that cable a little bit to give us enough meat to work with. Also, while we've been away, a filthy plasterer has turned up, or a builder or someone, and boarded this room. You can see the ensuite's all gone. Well, that was gone before, wasn't it?
It
before
was.
Christmas, which feels like an awfully long time ago now, doesn't it? Even though this is our first day back. So they've plopped a sink and bog in place so we can see where they're going. They're not fixed yet. The plumber's supposed to be here today, but he's off sick. So it's just us, which is probably quite handy. Have you farted?
I farted back there in the cupboard about 10 minutes ago.
Fucking hell, it's following you out. what we're going to do now, obviously it's not been plastered yet, plasterboard is in place. What we're going to do is we're going to cut in our downlights and cut in our fan hole so that they're all there, we know where they are. The plasterer can come and spread his muck all over the place, and hopefully we'll just be able to stick our hands up in the holes and put the downlights in afterwards.
Yeah.
So
well, it's just an open space up there, isn't it?
yeah, there's nothing up there. They've had to do a bit of repair over there because apparently there was a leak in the roof. The roof's getting done in May, I hear, so scaffolding will all be up around then, and the roof will come off and be redone. So let's get these holes cut. If you can carry on rescuing that cable. And what we plan to do here is to sink a dual pattress in the wall, or dual knockout box rather, one of those things, so that we can fit a fused fan isolator and use that as a junction point for our lighting. The lighting will be controlled from a pull cord, which we pulled in before Christmas, that's just there. So all good times. 3 is the magic number. Actually 85 is the magic number. Had the laser down the room. We're going to put in 5 downlights here because that's what the joist layout lends itself to. And that should kind of fit in with the room. Should be fairly evenly spaced. They're 85 centimetres apart. And often we end up obviously fitting the downlights after the plastering and often after the painting as well. But here, because there's a gap between them putting up the plasterboard and plastering it, it just makes life a lot easier to be able to see where the screws are, mark it all up and make our holes. So hopefully everything should be where we left it. They've also put insulation in above here, so another reason why I wanted to come back before any plastering was done was to make sure that they haven't covered over our cables and obscured them from us. Oh, like that. Just like that, as Tommy Cooper would say. God damn it. Builders, eh? Where's my fucking cable? Ah, for fuck's sake. I might need to get my inspection camera up there. Normally, I'd drill a 76mm hole, which I can get my hand in, but we're planning on putting in perhaps some integrated downlights here, some IP integrated units. So I've cut a 64mm hole to be on the safe side because most of them require a smaller hole. And it's always easier to embiggen a hole than it is to try and fit a smaller downlight into a hole that's already too big. But the downside is I can't stick me wanking claws in there to find my wire. Can't get my hand in there. So I've drilled the fan hole. All we should have here is our fan cable and some access to my lighting cable. Ow, ow, motherfucker, ow, Jesus. The fuck?
Bastard builders.
There's fucking nothing there. There's nothing at all. We left a shitload of cable up here. There's nothing above the insulation.
Yeah, left a coil where it needed to be.
Oh, I've got something. Ow, I think I'm stuck.
Well, see you tomorrow.
It's in this, it's over here. Well, one of the cables is over there. I don't know if it's the lighting cable or the fan cable.
It's written on, isn't it? It's labelled.
No, I don't know. Oh shit. I don't know whether that's fan or light. I don't know what's going on there now.
What's that? Been written
2 cables. So one's fan and one's light. I'll have to drill the next one and figure out which one it was because they've been moved out of position. God damn. Does it say on that end, does it?
Yeah. pretty sure I wrote it on there. No?
What happened is you didn't do your fucking job properly.
Fuck off. It always comes back to me.
You're the one saying you wrote on there.
I just felt
Asshole. Yeah, it stinks. What the fuck's the matter with you?
told you. Like Burley's in there. Burley's giving me trouble.
I can still smell like Christmas pork. Get out.
Oh, that's a good
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good one. That's a good one, David. I'm trying to think what the longer one was. I think the longer one might have been lights. You'd already chopped it and I took a big chunk of cable. So that one's there just in case, yeah? I believe the longer one was, I could be totally wrong. It's the other way around.
I'd love to take your
Do
word
this
for it now.
test from the other end.
Yeah, if you want to strip one end and we'll do a continuity test. In the meantime, I'll drill the next hole. Fucking hell.
You're enjoying that taste of it now, aren't you?
Well, you can't smell it up here. It must be heavier than air.
It's just a slow rise. Well, let's test it. So, yeah, just fuck!
What was
The
that?
ripper across my thumb.
Well, that bit.
The ripper bit. Just went right across my fucking thumb.
That's sharp, that bit. You want to watch that? You're right.
Fuck, that was properly done as well. Look at that.
Oh!
Felt it fucking catch, man.
You want to watch that, mate? Handing me shit like that.
Oh, I'm bleeding everywhere now.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
There's bleed all over me, mega.
You want to use my thing? My TIS.
Well, you can use your TIS or you can use my superior.
It hasn't got your scum blood on it, has it?
Oh, yeah. There you go, it should make noises.
What have you joined? Line and neutral?
Whichever you like.
Let's go line neutral.
Join. Join together there, make sure you're getting a beat.
Need a plaster?
Not for now.
What's that?
Okay. That is lights.
So you got it wrong then?
Is that the recording? Look what he's done to me. Look. Look at this. Filthy
You don't fucking
bloody.
hand someone a blade and hold on to the blade end.
Well, that's exactly what you do. When you're handing someone something dangerous like a knife, you offer it handle first.
That was lights, was it?
Unless it's Dave, and then he'll pull the ripper up your goddamn thumb. Dirty, stinking, evil bastard that he is.
Go get a plaster out the first aid kit for fuck's sake.
I'm going to go with
No, not in here.
Sorry.
Hello, Hills.
How are you getting on?
Well, our wires seem to be missing, which is good job we're back here today before it got plastered. 'Cause now we're going to have to.
Missing.
I think they've been moved out of the way, but they're not there.
Oh, I made a point of saying to them, can you put them,
Bob the Builder, eh?
yeah,
Bob
can you
the
put them
bastard.
right on top so that they don't. We had that conversation. Well, you
That's
reckon-
probably why he didn't do it. He's like, I'm not taking shit off her.
Yeah, probably, bitch. That's really annoying, isn't it? Well, how difficult would it be to put insulation? Well, do you think he pushed them out of the way?
I think he just pushed them out of the way. We're just waiting for our camera to charge so we can get it there. We'll carry on cutting the holes. So obviously we've done two. We got
Yeah.
the fan hole in.
Oh, great.
Now just cut himself, the idiot.
No, you cut
Do
me.
you need a plaster?
He cut me with a knife.
I got him with a blade.
He
Yeah.
did.
And I'll fucking do it again
Knife
and all.
crime. You even get knife crime in sort of quite middle class areas these days, obviously.
Well, it's the done thing, isn't it?
Do you need plaster?
No, I'm alright.
You sure?
Yeah,
I've got
just
one.
this. It stopped bleeding.
He's trying to be manly about it, but he has actually been
I
crying.
don't like plasters.
Whimpering.
Yeah,
I don't like.
he was out there going. Well, we've got the end of our cable here, so. The fuck is this?
Sorry, I was registering shock.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? That's supposed to be the end of our fucking cable.
That's madness.
They're done.
Where's the rest of it? That's what you need to know. Where's the one coming through?
Comes from the switch over to here and down the room.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Have you got it? Have you found it?
Well, we found part of a cable.
We found a little bit of cable. Oh, what's this? What's this? Oh, that's going that way.
That's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought we cut them all off. Fucking hell, it was only 3 weeks ago. All the Christmas and New Year booze has made us forget everything. Make sure you take copious notes when out on site. Don't leave it
Oh, what have we got here? What have we got here?
like dumb shits like we
I
have.
got some. See if anything's moving.
Oh, my cock's twitching, if that counts for anything.
Oh, it just came in clips, so it's. I don't know. I got it! I got it! I got it! Do it!
What a palaver.
Or a palaver. Always wondered what a palaver was.
Well, you are today experiencing such.
No, I know what a palaver is, but the word, where does it come from? Palaver. Sounds Spanish.
What makeup are you applying here, Nigel?
Well, when Dave bends over, I'm going to give him a surprise.
And what does this
This
Nivea for Men do?
This is barrier cream, mate. This protects you. There's different types, but this one protects you from building particles such as loft insulation. So if you come out of the loft and end up with lumpy arms, itchy arms, this protects you from it.
So I'm walking away because it's so uninteresting.
Oh, I never said it would be interesting. You've got the camera.
We got there in the end, didn't we, Nigel?
We did.
Do you know why? Because we're the real boys. So our cable, yeah, it was there. Took a bit of finding. Next little project while we're here, we have to get from the front of this house to the outbuilding over there. They're going to dig us a trench. We've got to put a cable in, take a supply over there. So obviously we're going to do some calculations for voltage drop for that run.
Yep,
That's
cable sizing.
Quite a length, isn't it?
It is. What? Oh, sorry.
Oh, what length would you say that is, Nigel, that run? Saying we're going straight up, past where my van is, up to the edge of that bush.
I'm thinking from the front
straight
of
to the
this
far
house,
corner.
because you're weaving a route, I think 85 metres.
Fuck off.
What are you saying?
That's 70 metres any day.
Okay, well let's find out.
To the measuring stick.
To the measuring stick.
Let's go. It wasn't raining until we had to do the outside bit.
No. Wait. 0, I don't know what you're cheating.
70 metres easy.
Go on then.
What did you say, 85?
I said 85.
Fuck off. You ready to give me a victory blowjob? Right, we're on
Just
0.
Remember to go the route you're going to bury it.
Yeah, it's give or take. Oh, 33 metres, are you starting to panic now, are you, Nige?
No.
50 metres, are you panicking now, Nige?
50.
Uh-huh. Oh, it looks like I'm going to be unzipping for you, son.
What did you say? 60?
I said 70.
Oh, right.
You said 85. 64, 65, 66, 7, 8, 9, 70.
Yeah. Where are you going to put the board in it?
Be on this corner. 77.
So it's close to 80.
You said 85.
Yeah. So, how much up the wall? Up the wall. You said 70, I said 85. I think that puts us in the
Shut your noise and open your mouth.
That puts us in the middle. I don't think I filmed that last bit recording, but I was too excited to see where we were going.
I think we can all agree that I won that one.
No, we can't at all.
Once again, I'm the massive winner.
77 put us halfway between each other. It was longer than you thought. It was shorter than I thought, which is usually good.
Does it make you smug to always be the loser?
I didn't know.
So by the time we've got up the wall and through the house, in fact, let's have a look through the house, because our cable's going to have to go through this front wall, below that window. And handily enough, what we have under the grate is an opening all the way across to the back of the house to where our Denman's board is.
These are my tiles. They come from Trinity Tiles. The man at Trinity Tiles has been really helpful.
This video is not sponsored by Trinity
I
Tiles.
highly recommend Trinity Tiles in Leamington.
Fuck Trinity
And
Tiles.
Dave's Avery Electrical Services with Nigel.
Yeah, without Nigel, not worth
With
it.
Nigel. There you go.
Yeah. Which one did you go for? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
The very top one.
The
It's
top
like the
one.
blue ones. The blue.
Is that in? Is it?
Well, we felt that that was a good mix of sort of, it didn't look too startling and modern with the age of the house. So we've gone for something that was a little more subtle.
Tell you what, you want to get down IKEA while it's still kind of just announced today they're closing.
Fuck IKEA.
Fair enough. So what did the plasterers do? They've overboarded this over there.
Yep, he's just
plastered
skimmed it all.
And our switch box
I've
disappeared.
put 2 coats of paint on, I've got to put 2 more on the ceiling.
Who's the moron?
Yeah.
You've got still got to put more paint on them.
More
So if we put these, do you want us to put these downlights in? We can leave them dangling so that you can just roll around them, right?
Can you, and they'll be perfectly safe, will they?
Yeah, as long as you don't go
Yanking
slapping
them.
paint all over.
No, I won't do that. Yeah, if you do that, that'd be great, and then I can just get another couple of coats.
Okay.
So yeah, then after that we've got some skirting board to put in, some blinds, some repairs up there, and
Yes. Oh, the secondary glazing's all gone,
I
isn't
took it out. It looks much better, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
It was hideous. But because I've had a new radiator in here and a new radiator in the bedroom, so it's really warm now, so we don't need the secondary glazing.
You're right for the heat to just leach out now.
Leach out into the atmosphere so that we all die sooner because the human race are rats.
Greta Thunberg is crying about that right now.
Look at that window, that's really wonky.
I know it's the same as that one,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the piss, isn't it?
It's the beauty of the house though, isn't it?
Medieval carpenters didn't know shit, did they? So you were asking us about an orange pull cord for your lights?
No, not orange, red, dark red. Nothing orange.
Because we had kind of disabled emergency pull coordinates.
No, if it was possible, dark red.
Can you grab the pull cord, Nigel, from that crate?
Yeah.
This is an off-the-shelf it's click polar, isn't it? You can change the cord from this.
At that point there.
Yeah, because that's a strain relief there, which
Okay.
allows you to attach a new cord to it. So if you don't like the white,
You'll have a white bit at the top.
Yeah.
you
Colour it
can.
in with a Sharpie.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, no, that's fine. That was perfect for now.
Yes, that's
Lovely.
a
And
Scormore click
I'm
polar.
not allowed to have an electrical socket in here, am I?
No,
I have in my bathroom bath it.
I've told you off about that.
Yeah, Dave's been very disapproving about it all these years, but it's been very handy. I can't have one there then,
No.
round the corner.
No, it has to be 3 metres from your bath or shower. What are you going to plug in?
Hairdryer.
While you're in the shower.
My toaster.
Are you having a door put
Rebel
in?
sandwich maker.
Coffee machine and sandwich maker.
I was just wondering if
No, I will at some point have a door.
outside.
Yeah, I quite like a socket outside. At some point, but I'm going to have cupboards out there anyway.
Right.
Being built. We got a quote for the cupboards, built-in cupboards, £6,500.
What, just for this?
Just a 2 built-in cupboards.
Again, IKEA. Here's what we're putting in here, Nigel. We're going to put in some Avaya Inceptor Omnis. These are IP65 in the fixed version, IP54 in the adjustables, this being the fixed version. As you can see, interchangeable bezels, integrated fire rated, acoustic rated, click connector for easy connection. So we're just going to stick that on the end of our twin and earths, and colour selectable between warm, cool and daylight. So all we'll have to do is put this in, show off the different colours, and bingo e-bongo. Yeah, all dimmable as well. We don't actually need dimmable here, but dimmable as standard, and a low profile too. So that's pretty handy. Not that we need no profile here, but what the hell. And just put the click connectors on, ready to accept our lights. We're not going to put them on just yet though, are we? At the moment we're trying to find our switch drop. We left a cable dangling down there, did we not, Mr. Marsh?
We did, Mr. Savoury.
And I believe le plasterer, as the French would say, has gone and covered it over.
Plasterer.
So we just put a hole there, and now some fat wanker's got to get up there and try and find where it is.
I can see it there.
I can see it.
I just can't get it.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, it's right there.
Just can't get it.
Is it caught in the plaster or something?
I don't know. It might be. He might have actually plastered it in.
Right, yes. I mean, he has, hasn't he? He's plastered over the fucker. Giving this whole quite the robust fingering, Nigel.
Yes, I see the technique. That's properly stuck in it. I could hear it creaking.
So, you know what? We can't find our pad saw either, can we, Nigel?
No.
Oh, there it is, look. It's in the plaster. He's actually
Plastered it in.
chonked it into the plaster. So our switch drop is still there. It's just going to take a bit of... There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Cheers. Fucking cheers.
Well, there we go. At least you real boyed it.
Fucking did and all, didn't I? Time for the click polar.
These are quite solid, these.
Yeah,
Like
we've used
no
them,
name flimsies.
used them before though. They're good shit.
I like a bit of
I'll tell you what, Skullmore can put that on their website. David Saver says, this is good shit.
Right. Screws are retained.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Now let's hear the clonk, Nigel. Good positive clonk, I take it.
Little click. Less of a clonk, more of a click.
Click, clonk. Clonk, click, every trip. Now then, now then.
Yep. It's like he's alive again. Watch your children.
Boys and girls. Speaking of the Skullmore products we're installing on this site, because we are going Skullmore on this side, I think, aren't we, Nigel?
We are.
It seems to be so far. Well, here's another one now. That's a curious thing, isn't it? How many times, Nigel, have we been to an installation where there's been a bathroom fan installed with no isolator and or certainly no fuse within the isolator?
Many times.
Many times. It's extremely common, isn't it? And every fan isolator you buy, every 3-pole isolator you buy is just that. It's just an isolator, which is fair enough, except that in most fan manufacturers' instructions you'll have something like this hiding in the corner here for this expel air product, which says that all models are should be connected to an isolating switch, and the protective fuse for the appliance must not exceed 5 amps. 5 amps. Which means that anybody hanging a fan like this off a 6 amp lighting circuit is not complying with manufacturer's instructions. And we know, don't we, Nigel, that the wiring regulations place the following of manufacturer instructions very early on, and indeed manufacturer instructions override anything the wiring regulations might state, because the manufacturer shouldn't be making anything with any less degree of safety than the wiring regulations demand. So the wiring regulations are a minimum requirement if you look at it that way. The manufacturer's instructions may well exceed the requirements that the wiring regulations have. So it's a bit of a pain in the arse, that, isn't it? And why is that? Why don't they just make fans that can sit on a 6 amp lighting circuit without any fusing down?
Have a fuse within the unit itself.
Some manufacturers probably do. This is an expel air we're fitting here, and it does not. So, to get us out of trouble, we have this Skullmore doody dardy. What the hell is that, you might say? Well, you probably don't, because I'm sure most of you watching know what this is. It's a modular plate, and it gives us our 3-pole fan isolator, but as well as that, it gives us a fuse holder. And it all clips together rather nicely. Put the screws in. Obviously you can custom make these things to your requirement. Thinking about it, we don't actually need this item here. I've just thought about this. 3-pole isolator, because we're fitting a humidistat fan.
Yeah.
So it's only got 2 cores going to it, there's no switch live. So we could just put in a standard fuse unit. But if we wanted to use the timer function and we wanted to send an extra core to the fan, then this is the ideal product to use, because unlike a fused connection unit, which obviously is only a 2-pole isolator, this bad boy is 3-pole, and it gives you a suitable fuse hole for your fuse, in this case a 3-amp fuse. Oh crikey, that would have to happen on camera, wouldn't it? You dropping it. And there you go. Obviously you just wire in the output of the fuse to the input of the isolator. So a good product that, and that's the only fused fan isolator product that I know of. And I first saw these at Alex probably about 2014, 2015, was a couple of years after I started, because before then I was always fitting a fuse unit and then the 3-pole isolator.
Yeah, I was using them before I came to you. For my fan installations.
So yeah, I was having to cut out a dual box in effect, so that you'd have the fuse coming for the power coming in, then going off to the 3-pole isolator.
So much easier like that.
But yeah, that's just a real boy solution. So I've brought this along because I had in my head I was fitting a fan. So I might just use a double pole fuse, but nice to know that these things are out there. We know what we're doing, really, don't we, Nigel?
No. No, not at all.
We are about done. What have we done? We've left cable on the floor and a bit of a mess, but that's expected of us. In this cupboard, what did we have in this cupboard? We had a load of rubbish, didn't we? An old cylinder and stuff. As you can see, the plumber's got rid of all that. Oh, we'll have to take that switch off the wall, Nigel, it's not doing anything. And we've got a new boiler in here, which the plumber has put in. Let's get my work light out of there. We've got a temporary feed there on an RCD spur to provide additional protection, because there's still we still haven't got around to doing anything with the board yet, and the ensuite is the first job we're doing here. So we've nicked the 10mm cable that was feeding the board. That's where the board was. We've now got a blank plate there where the 10mm junctions down into a fuse unit to drive the lights. Bit of overkill 10mm, but until we get into this floor to pull in a new feed for the ensuite, we're using the cable that's already there. Let's have a look at these Avaya lights. Oh, that's a different colour, isn't it? We're going to leave these dangling down so that Hilary can paint her ceiling. I say there's a handsome chap. And these lights are colour switchable. So we've got daylight, cool and warm. I think we should leave these all on daylight, because Hilary hates white light. We'll make her shit her pants, shall we?
Leave them on daylight?
Yeah.
I like daylight.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? A nice...
Oh, lovely. It's like summer's
nice lights, those. IP rated, as we said before, colour changeable, and
with a little bracket for your
fire rated, etc. Yeah, you've got a bracket on top. You can probably just see on top of that one there to keep your insulation off. And she's going to be on the phone to us going, but they're white, I didn't want white, I wanted warm white. And we're going to go, although we have told her already that the colour's switchable. Expeller humidistat fan.
Yep.
Nice and quiet, that's actually running at the moment, can you hear it?
Yes.
Hardly though, is it?
Not much, no, they're nice and quiet.
Pretty quiet, yeah, so I'm going to
They
keep
do
you awake
tend
at
to
night.
make a little bit more noise if they're just on plain plasterboard.
2-speed those fans as well, we've got it on the slow speed.
Yeah.
But it's humidistat, so you know, it's only going to run when there's moisture in the room, and it'll run for as long as it needs to run to clear the moisture. So it doesn't need to be sort of
That is
not
a schoolgirl's phone.
I just got myself a new phone.
And the only dick pic I've got on it is of him, not his dick, just him. Oh, hurry up.
Nigel got himself a white iPhone, and we're not quite sure whether it's suitable for a tradesman or not, so I've put it out to Twitter. And at the moment, Nige, we're 51.6% on Schoolgirl's Favourite, as opposed to 48.4% on Old Man Dick Pic Special, and that's with 31 votes. So we'll have to see whether the general consensus falls in your favour.
I don't care about your Twitter-arty nonce.
I'm sorry, mate, but you need to care.
Twitter is for woke people. Woke people.
You're getting more woke than someone with an iPhone.
Behave yourself.
Right. Let's try out our click switch. Well, good old chap. I think
Let's clean up and
bugger off,
leave.
because it's Friday, it's 3:30, and I make it be 1:00.
Let's make it like a tree and get out of it.
One ensuite done for now.
For now, yeah.
However, I've just spoken with them, and they're starting the next one next week. You know, the other end of the house, there's an ensuite there.
Oh, is that an ensuite? Yeah, the one with the round window.
That's it. Apparently, a plumber is beginning on Monday, which is the first I've heard of it, and will be. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Driveway.
This is going to finish my van off. This is. Apparently, the plumber's starting Monday and is going to be. Well, I don't know because I haven't seen the plans. We're always the last to see the plans, aren't we, Nige?
Yep.
So I think it's probably worth us sticking our heads in Monday and finding out what's going on. There may be some decommissioning required there before it can start in earnest, or it may be that we turn up and find that there's nothing needed for us for a bit of time. So that's should be interesting. We should also probably look at getting that distribution board upgraded, the old fella. Yeah, because that can go into the cupboard, and there's an awful lot of pipe work that's right in the way of where we want to drop cables, so I'm really not sure how we're going to do that yet. But there's nothing stopping us potentially from sticking in a new RCBO board there. There was one circuit I tested out bad for IR, and obviously, you know, we want to be rewiring as much of this as possible, but because it's all happening in a piecemeal way, it's quite difficult at the moment, because ideally it'd be great if there were a whole floor that was vacant where we could just rip out and restore, but it's not happening like that. It's going to be bits at a time, like that ensuite was. So that ensuite that we've just done is rewired, and okay, it needs a new feed coming in, and it needs to be on a new as a circuit on the new board when we put it in, as opposed to being off an RCD spur that it's on at the moment. Well, we should probably look at getting the board in and getting some of this shit rewired.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, there's people living there.
Always
The
awkward,
rooms
isn't
have got people in them, so...
it? Yeah. Awkward. It's just, it doesn't go as you want, does it? Life just bites you on the arse. You want an easy life, don't you, Nige? And
Yep.
instead you wake up in the morning and find you're a fucking iPhone user. You've got to drag their dumb ass out and
Oh, I'm happy to
pull
have
cables.
hurt you today.
White iPhone.
You do look like a redneck in that McDonald's ad.
Yeehaw! So that wraps it up for part 3, I suppose, because we're one small step closer. We've got an ensuite out of that whole fucking manor house. We've got an ensuite that's now rejigged, and apparently on Monday we've got another one to start to look at. So there you go. We're chipping away at it.
Chipping away. Bit vibrant. Oh, go on. How many points?
He's not in any hurry, is he? I'll have him next time. Next time.
Right.
For those interested, the results of the Twitter poll showed that most people agreed that a white iPhone is suitable for use by a hairy-arsed tradesman, which goes to show how most people airing an opinion on Twitter are wrong and should delete their social media accounts without delay. Anyway, thank you once again for persevering through this nonsense. More is to follow on this job, unfortunately.